This one is for the fellas. Guys, stay tuned. We're going to talk about something everyone's talking about. We're going to talk about them broads and dames, chicas, the old bag, couple of mols, hussies, squaws, hag, babes, bimbos, dimes, floozies, gals, arm candy, the sexy mama, the tramp, the biddy, the tart, the hussy. We're going to talk about them pigeons, gals.
So I'm Dan.
And I'm Nick, folks.
We're old friends dissecting one topic at a time. People, technology, media, we've got it all covered.
Each discussion here is a deep dive into our unique perspective. The taboo, forbidden subjects, they're all on the chopping block, baby. We don't pander to popular opinion. We might even get a little bit dirty.
Warning, this podcast may contain mature language and sexual content, and is for infotainment purposes only.
So join us. Have a good time.
Open up your ear holes, because we're going to fondle your follicles.
Nope. Carries, baby.
All right. Once again, I'm Dan.
And I'm Nick. Folks.
Took us over 100 episodes to get to a topic that is
near and dear to our hearts.
Widespread. 50-50 split. If you were to toss a coin, you'd probably hit one of them. Women.
Women. Am I right, folks?
Yeah.
Or am I right? I'm right.
The Holy Grail.
Kind of. This is the most specific topic and the most broad topic we've ever done.
Yes, it is. Literally the Holy Grail. That's what it was. It was women. Feminism and the ability to give life. Thank you, women.
Ah, beautiful. Thank you, women. A couple of feministas over here. Feminazis, we've been referred to as by some circles.
Where should we begin? You do stereotypes? You do feminism? You want to do how much we love women? How much we hate women?
such a good whisper maneuver. Like, hate women? It's good. No, I don't know where to begin with this one. This one I have a lot to say and so little I want to say.
You look like you're reflecting fondly on your moments with women. Or maybe just moments in general.
Well, we'll start this way, because I think this is what we should do, come full circle. We should talk about just how weird it is that you just mentioned it, touched on it, like 50% of the population. Is it 51 or something like that?
Yeah, mostly women. Majority women.
Yeah. But that's 51. I mean...
Slight change, yeah.
Like, aren't the chances equal you be born man or woman? Not to get into the whole extra chromosomes and different things and all that, but I mean, by sheer number. How
mathematically, I don't know if there's like hormones or... This is like the wolf howl thing, right? Like if a wolf doesn't hear a howl in the middle of the night, she produces more litter.
Really?
Yeah, she realizes we're missing one, so we got to make some more. So it's like, if it's imbalanced, do you think maybe something's in our genetics to make more of the one that's imbalanced or lacking?
I would think there has to be, because there's no way that you have a 50% chance and that we literally have 50-50 just about. I mean, 51, 49, whatever it is, but that's ridiculously close.
And then, like, you think that women have a better chance of surviving, like, they have a longer lifespan, but also women aren't as stupid as men? I mean...
And, well, in historical times, they also didn't do as many dangerous things.
Yeah, battles and...
Yeah. So you would think there'd be more women. Right.
Yeah.
Weird. So I guess there has to be something that keeps everything in balance.
Yeah.
Or a hell of a coincidence. We don't believe in coincidences here, though. Coincidi.
Do you want to go scientific with it?
Sure.
So, like, what?
And I didn't want to touch on the whole who identifies as a man or a woman. I don't even want to get into that.
Yeah, that's another.
That's another episode. We will actually do one on like trans and stuff like that, but this is not that.
Sexual reproduction.
Okay.
Advantage. Us. No. What's the bonus? Is that sexual diversity? You get genetic diversity. You get a variety of people, a mix of people. It helps you because you're resilient. You have people that might have an anomaly that continues to progress the human race.
Oh, I'm sorry, dude. I had no clue what you were talking about for one whole second. I was like, with humans? But you meant just in general, sexual.
Yeah. The
whole sexual, having sex to reproduce, sexual reproduction. Wow. I don't know why that was so hard to say.
Keep going.
So sexual reproduction. As you say,
reproduction.
As opposed.
One of those reproduced things just started banging on the door.
Oh, did it? Kick it out. Bang, bang. Well, just still can't get over the 50-50 split. And I'm sorry, I'm picking up a scab from my hand. This is
you're not supposed to talk about that.
Oh, I did. There, I did it.
What the hell?
Woo, like that.
You're one of those people that likes to. I like to pull off scabs.
No. Well, I mean, I like to pull them off when they get dry and hard or whatever. Yeah. No, it's from an axe. I've been chopping up firewood lately.
Oh.
No, the handle.
Is that just like
real,
a hobby?
real hot. No, it's like because I can use my fire pit now. But I bought this axe a while ago. I haven't been using it, so I let it sit in the hot, hot sun. And that poly whatever material, it's not metal. Mine's like a
plastic
composite. No, it's like some weird composite. It got real hot sitting in the 100-degree sun for like 30 minutes.
Yeah,
so I picked it up and started using it. I don't care. I'm a man. I'm showing everyone how much of a man I am.
I'm a man's man.
And it started really hurting my hand, and afterwards,
I'm a man, but it hurt my hand.
Took it off. So, but no, women can't chop wood. Isn't that amazing?
Ever. Sexual stereotype number 1. Women can't do what men can do.
Right. That is a stereotype. I think you have to go into stereotypes.
Yeah, sure. We do right away. Men are stronger generally. They're more aggressive men generally.
Aren't they? Yeah, they kind of are. And again, generally, it runs the gamut. No one would ever say that no woman could be strong. There used to be like women who would get into fights with me about it. I'd be like, no, I just think more men are strong. They're like, a woman could be just strong as men. And I was like, yeah, if she worked out, she could do whatever she wanted.
None of you, obviously, but
none of you
rip you apart.
But like people get so on my grill, and I'm like, I'm not the kind of person who says a woman can't be strong. I would never say that. Like I was never, like I love making misogynistic jokes.
Yes.
But like, and people will say that I'm an asshole for it. Sure, I don't care. But I'm not like actually a misogynist. Like, does that make sense?
Yeah, that's like you can laugh at death. There's terrible things that are just funny.
Yeah.
That lightheartedness helps in the situation. Other people take it too seriously.
Other people take it too seriously.
Yes.
People at the butt of the joke or whatever. I don't know. But the whole strength. What's the other one? Like caregiver.
Yeah, caring, nursing, loving, emotional feeling, all those like heartwarming, like soft,
what's
gentle.
Weird, and we're jumping around, but like I feel like that's changing already. I think there's like more stay-at-home dads than there ever were before, and like dad nanny, or I don't know if that's a term. I think I just made it up, but like more dads are doing that, and women are making more money in the workplace. Some women support their husbands in the workplace, and some like I've seen paternity leave and not maternity. Like, do you know what I mean? It's like flipping, but that's just because ebb and flow.
I read that women are now majority breadwinners in the home. Okay. That might be related to like single mothers and stuff, because of like household income.
Right.
Family income. Right. But yeah, there's a lot of sexism regarding, I guess, stigma that people will never reveal. So like, if a woman's making a lot of money, I don't know that she'll ever say that, because most men would probably believe that they're not making more money than them, because
no, my woman makes way more money than me.
Yeah, but I'm not talking about like a relationship. I'm talking like in the workplace.
In a relationship.
Like in your office, are you ever gonna assume that, like, if a woman on your level is making, you would assume that she's making about what you're making or less?
Right.
I think most men would.
Yeah. Yeah, that's an assumption, and I think it still holds pretty true. But hasn't the gap closed a lot? Or I don't know if it's still working towards it. Like this is a branch of feminism. If we had a woman expert who fights for this kind of stuff and has been on our episode before, she could probably set us straight with numbers.
Yes,
and
maybe.
give us that perspective. It would be amazing to have that, but
well, we
did not have that guest on.
Well, we toyed with it. It's like the that Google thing where Google had sexism.
Oh yeah, they just settled for like 16 million a pop, right, or something like that.
I don't know how much they settled for.
16 million total.
I read that they did an analysis and found that women were actually being paid more than men on average. Then
maybe there was a different lawsuit. They just settled some lawsuit where they settled out of court, but
they did.
Trying to look good for the women out there.
It's tilting upwards.
Is it? As you because all the women have stopped watching at this point.
I think they stopped watching because they're like, these guys are a bunch of jokers.
Yep. Touching and they stopped watching feminism. It at Molly or a mall. Maybe Tart.
Holy Grail. Chalice of life.
Holy Grail. Yeah.
So
we're going in the wrong way.
Because you don't want to talk about personal women because you feel like
no, maybe I do.
Here's the epitome: I took notes. I was writing down a few things. I wrote like 5 things down. I got down to qualities that women are or perceived to be. Okay. I lost the sheet somewhere in the house, and the first thought is, she's gonna find it. She's gonna find this paper.
Was there anything damning on it?
No, I think I wrote
cool. All good
emotional,
loving, nice.
Grudgy, and something else.
Like good word.
Women hold grudges like no other.
I think they do hold them better than men.
I think they do.
Again, it varies individual to individual. We're not anyone who's like, no, they don't. Everyone relax. That was a man's voice. A weak man, but.
Can we talk about
grudges or more
argumentative about stupid things? I think men are arguing about where you put your shoes.
No, I think men
argue about money.
So what
status, maybe.
What do you? So what?
Social
what
status.
Are we boiling down to? The difference between men and women? Is there a real difference? It's not just an X and a Y chromosome. There actually is a difference.
Yeah, that's like because toddlers growing up and boys playing with trucks and like inanimate objects and girls going towards dolls. Like there was a study that showed that early in our own youth, the sexes matter. They gravitate towards certain aspects of life.
But aren't they copying what they see on TV and like in their lives, sort of?
They could very well be, but these were like 2-year-olds, 3-year-olds.
I mean, you've been around for 3 years, 2 years. You've seen the world for 2 years. Even if you don't accept it, absorb it all, you have norms already, right?
Yeah. So
I mean, I'm just venturing here to guess.
Yeah.
That the toy thing, I think, like by the age 3, you've only seen TV shows where men are driving the trucks at like construction sites.
Perpetuated stereotypes.
Yeah, exactly. So I really do. I think there is something to that. What I would tell you in differences, though, and that's weird too. I don't know if all the differences are just based on how you live your life, who you're around, and other guys you're with or girls you're with. Like, could it all be related to social statuses, norms, cues, and everything in your everyday life? Like, if women drove all the trucks and worked at all the construction sites, and men always stayed home, and then we raised children that saw that and let them pick whatever toy they want, would the boys then like play house more because they want to be like their father who played house, and the women would play with the trucks more?
So I would rebut you like this. So a woman definitively has to carry a child. If that was different, then maybe this is the case.
Fact. Can't argue with this one.
So a woman is going to by default be home with a child at some point. Maybe she's not capable of caring for him in the very first few weeks, so she's recovering, but she will be by default home at some point with the kid before the man.
I guess because of breastfeeding too.
Also breastfeeding. So there's a natural rhythm of things that we fall into, and if it was mutual, like if a man could carry children and breastfeed them too.
Breastfeed.
It's so creepy to think about.
It's so hot.
Do you think the roles they could flip? Do you think there would be even like any notice of gender? Do you think there would still be sexism? Where like, so this is this is a perfect example here. That I was reading something on a forum about how women were freaked out when there was a man taking care of their children at the daycare they had. Like there was one male daycare worker, and women didn't like it at all.
Yeah, I could see that. It might weird them out that like someone's working with their 4-year-old or something.
Why?
Just because it's not normal. So here's one thing I'll tell you. One reason that this actually holds water. If it's something unnatural and not unnatural, unnormal, is that the thing? Like it isn't the normal. I don't know. I'm trying to find the right
irregular
word. If it isn't something irregular, if there's something irregular, sometimes your brain tries to find a reason for it.
Yeah.
And there aren't a lot of reasons why you would find something irregular about a teacher at your 4-year-old school. Like it's never a real good thing. Like he's going to teach them to be the greatest piano player ever. Like, you know what I mean? Like you only think bad things about irregular things, I find.
So you're talking about like tribalism. Like if you're only around your own people that look like you and saw somebody that was not like you would assume that this person is by default different.
No, but your point is 100%. I can go with it.
Yeah.
I was originally just saying because it's just different. Which I guess, okay, I see what you're saying, but it's...
You would assume the worst because you don't trust that person is going to do what you would do.
Right. Or you don't know, and you have to err on the side of caution, especially with children, is, I guess, the thought process.
Yeah. Where were we going?
I guess.
That you don't trust... Women don't trust men. I think women don't trust men to rear children because it's a gender stereotype. But reverse, I think men don't trust women to do like
job stuff,
like engineering. Like she's like, this is the weirdest thing because there's like very specific. Because like I don't trust my wife to think like 2 steps ahead and like risk analysis and like technical things, mathematical things, finance. I hope she doesn't hear this one. Like chopping stuff up, which is weird. Like sharp knives. Like there's a delicacy that I do it with because I'm very particular, but that might just be me. But like I get worried when I know she's not as capable.
She's doing it?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I overextend myself and try to be a little pervasive when she's doing those things. I never
knew that. That's weird. That's like not weird. I mean, it makes sense from what you're thinking.
Like if your woman's chopping a carrot, do you pay attention to her chopping it, or is she like chop chop chop?
No,
you don't care.
God, I say go to town, chop off your fingers. I don't care. No. No, because she cooks. Like that's what she. So that's like something she does. She also works with her hands. She cuts hair. Like, do you know what I mean? She is.
That's true. She's got an advantage.
Yeah, she uses sharp objects all the time.
Yeah.
Uses them around my head all the time. I'm still here, so I think.
I guess the thing is, if she were a man, then I might still have those fears. Like it just might be the personality that I'm with around.
This changes everything. If she were a man, right?
Yeah.
And you were still married, and you still loved him, her.
Yeah.
You still would probably feel the same way because
I'm me.
She, whoever, you're you, and they're still them. Like he
would have
those still traits. Not have expertise with the chopping up the food anyway. It's not like you'd be like, well, now that she's a man, she can chop food. So it has nothing to do with the gender, I guess. That one's almost entirely just.
But do you think a man handles pain better than women?
I want to say yes.
And stressful situations?
I guess it does vary so much, though. I think they handle pain better because of playing sports and stuff growing up. And again, this is super in general. If I had to...
Men.
Okay. Yeah, men. They handle pain better, I think. I know everyone's going to say childbirth is the most painful thing. Well, if you've experienced childbirth every week, that's weird. You can only experience it once a year-ish. Now, I get it. It's, we can't compare. Someone's going to say period pains. Well, I've heard everyone I've ever dated complain about their period pains all the time. So it's not like they're taking this in and just being like, God, this is a 10 out of 10 on pain, and I'm just not even going to tell you about it. I'd roll with it. No, I hear about it. It's painful to me.
Yes.
And I'm not even feeling it. I'm like, oh my gosh. So
you're wasting my most valuable resource.
So is it painful? Yeah. Is it admirable that people have to go through that, and I don't understand that. Sure, I wouldn't know what it's like to, deal with that once a month. Like, it would be a pain in the ass. It would be terrible. But
I heard today that there was somebody that had a shark attack, and the shark bit off their arm, and you would think that would be excruciatingly painful. But they said that there's actually a dopamine and adrenaline rush that happens that makes you so you don't feel it at all. It's just a burning sensation.
Real bad injury, like even my leg injury.
Yeah.
Where the thing went through my leg, didn't hurt that bad.
Yeah, I broke my ankle, and I knew it was broken. I was looking at it, and like it didn't hurt until much later.
Yeah, it's weird how the body handles that. So is your body reacting to pain human, or is it sex-based? Because we just talked on something two totally opposite things, which is wild to me.
Yes.
Like, how could a gender experience pain differently or deal with pain differently if it's a physical release of chemicals and stuff? Do men just get used to dealing with it or something? Or
are men forced to repress their emotions because their emotions are not validated?
A little bit. You touched on something that's legit. I mean, it's not
like a man will go to another man and say, "Oh, can you hold my arm?" Yeah.
Yeah, no, a man would never do that. That's weird.
That's
interesting.
I was playing hockey, and a guy broke his leg in like 3 places, and he knew it. He just looked around and said, "Get me a fucking chair," and then he sat on that chair and skated off with his one good leg. I was like, the first thing you think, that's a man.
That's a man. Yeah.
But a woman can do the same thing. I just haven't
seen 100%.
I can't, not that I can't imagine it. It's just I've never seen a woman break her leg in 3 places and go, "Get me a fucking chair." I could kind of maybe a
doing that.
MMA.
Yeah, I could see certain women.
UFC.
Yeah, a few of them. Yeah, a few of them. Yeah. So what I keep thinking is that most of the differences, if not all of them, are based on the way we're raised, how we're expected to live, and what we see every day. Not all of them, but like I would say 95% of it
is what?
Which is, it's based on the way you raised. Like you just touched on it. If you raised a girl to not really express her emotions as much, and please just anytime you get hurt, dust it off, and like listen, you're gonna have to work harder. Like you could treat her like you would treat a boy who you were trying to bring into a man.
Yeah,
she would 100% probably just be what we call manly, like a tough girl,
tomboy,
really
Tom man. Tommen.
Yeah. But I mean, Tommen was not a man.
No.
And he never made it to manhood either. God bless him.
Sadly.
That window drop is the funniest thing in the world.
Yeah.
It's the best exit
ever.
Good
framing.
Yeah, well, very good framing. But what I'm getting at is I don't think there's that much of a difference. I really think it's so minimal on the biological sense.
Up until puberty.
Even then, I mean, think of this. See, I think we're arguing 2 different things.
A little bit,
like if I hit puberty and I'm myself, I'm a guy.
Yep.
And for whatever reason I got extra estrogen boosted into me, wouldn't I act the same? Like,
you're talking about what I'm arguing, different chemicals, different hormones would create you a different way, would make you into maybe something else. You're saying the chemical makeup of a human being makes them what they are. That's what is a piece of what you're talking about.
And how you react to it. Yeah. And that's why I think that women aren't different than men. I mean, they are because of what you said, the way they're raised. They are because of what? Extra chromosome? No, X versus Y? No, they have 2 X's. I'm sorry, dude. I didn't do
extra chromosome.
I'm not calling them.
It's Down syndrome, isn't it?
It is.
Oh shit.
Women. I'm not doing any impressions. Move on.
But the physical form doesn't. It shouldn't really matter. I mean, I always like. I guess when I was younger, I always like thought they were very separate. But it's really like you have
100%
genitalia that's like not really a thing. Amorphous genitalia, and it just it either sprouts or it sucks itself up, and that's how you get either sex. in a very generic.
I don't.
So it's like which way, if it goes left or right, it's either one. So it's like you could have the female body and feel like a man. We got into it, or a male body and feel like a woman, and it depends on the chemical balance and how you feel, your mental state, a whole bunch of personality and all that raised and
how you're raised,
nature,
nurture versus nature, sure.
But I think there's a key difference.
Okay. What's the key difference here? Bring it in.
I guess sexual aggression. So like for a man is always ready to go. He's always looking at women and thinking they're attractive. He's rating them.
Okay.
He's going after them. You have that times 1,000.
Yeah, I think I agree with that, actually. That's the one difference between men and women that isn't based on society or anything.
Yep.
It's not like I'm raised to do that. I am raised to do that, but even if I wasn't, I can tell you, like, men want to plow.
Yeah. I was a polite little child, but I would look at those, I can't say that without a weird, beautiful women when they were younger.
Little girls.
You said it.
Say?
Yeah. But when I was a little boy, and even as a little boy, it like I didn't have those thoughts until I hit puberty, and then you're constantly thinking about, like women's thighs and their bodies and their boobs and how they walk, and like if you want to like get physical with them, and like you want to date women, you want to be near women, you want to experience the things that your body is telling you to experience.
Yeah, do it. So you can say do it.
You want to do it.
I 100% agree with you. I actually think, and women will literally, if you tell them this, they will look at you and say, "Oh my God, no! Women want to have sex just as much as men." That's what they'll say. Oh no!
They don't. I think that the magnitude at which they want sex is the same.
Yeah, I can.
But the frequency is far less.
There you go. I think you just hit it perfectly. I think women can totally want to bang, totally want to get down, totally want to freak, totally want to get it off. Like that. Women, just like men. I get you.
But not right now. Get away from me.
Yeah, exactly. You could offer a man sex, and if like any time of the day, any time of the night, you could wake him up at 3 a.m. and just say, "Hey, do you want to do it?" 90% of men would just be like, "Let's go."
I think it's like 99.9.
I was going with 90 because I was including people over 80 who might say no, and people, but
give me 30 minutes, says the 90-year-old. I need to pop a Viagra.
So, sex age men who are normal, I don't know, don't have medical conditions, would probably 99% would say right away and go to Plowtown.
Yeah.
If you did this survey with women, less than 5% would want to do it. Is that true?
Yeah, I think
10%?
of all the
5%,
somewhere maybe 5 or 10%. So what does that do to your mental state?
It does. It affects you. You're 100% correct.
Yeah,
it makes you. You're always.
Women are always on the defensive.
We talked about this in an episode. My favorite thing that men do that women will never do is bite their knuckle when they see a hot woman.
Yeah.
That's like an old guy trick. She had a booty on her, like. I can't even do it right. I don't know if you bite this part of your knuckle or this part.
I thought it was always like the first knuckle.
It might be. Yeah, there you go. It's something like that. All I know is I don't ever do that, but I get that feeling. And the older I get, the more I think it's going to affect us looking at like a 20-year-old, gorgeous,
still attractive to you.
Oh, still incredibly attractive. And physically what I could do to her. But like, it's like, I'm like, whoa, I'm an adult. I have my own life. I don't know her. Mm-hmm. I am a gentleman. Thoughts go away. And then I'm like, like, you can't stop that part of your brain.
Yes, I agree.
It's always there, I guess.
There's always a weird sexuality that occurs when you see a really attractive, like college-age woman, and it's you can't avoid it. As a man, you could think about it. It's there, and then you just kind of plow through it. You wish you could
around it and be like, okay, I'm an adult. I can move on here.
Yeah, I have maturity.
I have no intentions with this
God damn.
Ooh. Holy shit. And that is the one. I think that's the one difference I will 100% agree with you. Women don't get. And again, this could be. I mean, it could be hormone based.
Yeah,
probably,
but like conversationally, I think that makes women into something else because men are always attempting. They're always being like the ones who are offering, trying to do something. Yeah, peacocking it. And then women are just kind of sitting back and like being receptive and then shooting down various men. I feel like that happens like
women have to do a lot of shooting down.
Yeah, they're like no. So it feels like they could be extremely passive in the way that they go about life as long as they are like good looking. I mean, not good looking.
They feel more. They probably have to be more guarded.
Yeah, more guarded, more
like
defensive.
I don't have to be guarded. No one's coming up to me and being like, "Oh, can you pick up this penny?" Like, you imagine like a 48-year-old woman asking me to do that, and like,
or her pitching your butt or something.
Yeah, something I can't imagine that
breaking through your space. Leave me alone.
And someone will literally watch this episode and be like, "Well, that's because women have more self-control than men." And I was like, "Oh, no, you don't." So again, what you're talking about is it's in your balls, right? Is that where this is? Is your
testosterone?
Yeah, right.
Ball creation leads to testosterone.
If you don't get off after X amount of days,
like 3 days is where you start to like be like, I didn't think you were sexy before, but you're kind of hot.
Oh. Did you see the Charmin commercial? The mama bears. That mama bear, I can picture her without her pants. She didn't have any pants on? I gotta go to the bathroom. We have Charmin. I don't know. It's like that's a joke within a joke there. Yeah, there is something that happens to you mentally, physically, biologically, and it's not like it's not a game, it's not a joke, it's not something men make up. So it's real, and I think.
And women kind of like prove it by like saying that's just how men are, but they don't realize that like it's a thing. It's not like we make it. It's a
little bit like a disease or like a thing you need to get out of you, a poison, a venom, and you're just like it's
clouds your judgment.
Yeah, it does.
The back of the bus.
Crazy. It makes you not know how to act properly or like form words good sometimes, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
What did Seinfeld do on this? Although Seinfeld did it backwards.
George became very educated because he had ignored sex entirely.
I guess he reached a point. See, I think it's backwards.
I think it's comedically backwards for intentional purposes. So like,
okay.
If you did not have sex and it was you're completely a eunuch, like sex meant nothing to you, then you'd be super educated. I think that's what they were trying to say. You would
be. I 100% agree with that because then you'd be a learned man. Nothing. You could focus
nothing
more. I guess women take up so much of our goddamn time. You're right.
Yeah. How much time do you think women think about men?
I think most of their time spent thinking about other women. Does that make sense?
They have a competitive nature to them that's like, oh, look what she did today, or look what she's wearing, or how could you be her?
Or
like,
just what's she up to? Instagram. What's she doing? Not even necessarily bad. Like you're saying competition. The competition is probably a healthy 50% of it. The other 50 might be like, oh, good for her. Oh my God, I love that picture of you and your friends. Like it's both. It's like competitive and friendly and hatred. And it's like, it's like the TV shows that they watch, I guess.
Oh Lord.
See, there's no stereotype.
Little Big Lies. You've watched.
Oh yeah, she watches that. No, I never saw it.
Really? I can't stand the dialogue. But
I never saw it.
The flip flopping is like I've never. I guess there's a man like if you don't like somebody, you generally don't like them.
It's usually just what it is.
I'm not talking like fighting somebody. Like sometimes you'll fight somebody and then you'll be like, oh, you're not so bad. But there's also people that you like know you hate.
Like side with, hate, help, gossip about, like that kind of stuff.
I was just talking about like a man's choices, like his inclination is usually the same. He's usually not. He's unwavering in his decision. Whereas women, I've seen women be like, fucking hate, like they do it with such anger, like I hate that bitch. She's so, and then like they go off, and then like an hour later they'll be like, oh, it was fine, it was nothing. So they like. She's great. It's really I just had to get some emotions out. It's really kind of scary because like I've been pissed off along with my wife at some person before, and then eventually she swung around and I was still like, but you're mad.
Who was it?
It's a relative of
guy or girl.
It's a girl.
And it's a relative of who? You or her?
Her.
And she changed her mind. All of a sudden, she's like, no, it's not that bad.
Yeah. And I was like, what the? So that's As Good as It Gets, a quote from Jack Nicholson. It's like, Helen Hunt asks him, how do you write women so well? Because he's a writer. And he says, I think of a man and I take away reason and accountability.
Oh, yeah. That's right. That's right. That's correct.
And it really comes down to, like, women can get out of a lot of things. Like, they don't need to be accountable. Because they can
flip-flop as much. They don't have to be as whatchamacall.
They're not required to be as much.
You're absolutely correct.
But the expectation is also damning, too.
I 100% agree. So with every stereotype, with every bad thing that happens to you, there is a good side. Like there's a coin for everything. So let's say they are less advantaged in the workplace, especially scientific fields, mathematical fields you just touched on. They literally don't have as much opportunity. They're in more abusive relationships. There's a lot of things that happen to women that suck. We 100% agree. I don't disagree with anything they fight for.
Yep.
But on the flip side, they can control situations with just being cute or sexy or hot. They can literally change their mind, like you just said. It's weird. Like you have other avenues that open up, and you just touched on two of them. The one being like you can change your mind, and everyone's like, girls,
silly Sally. She's always jumping around, flip flopping.
It's wild to me. It's.
There's nothing more commanding than a woman who's beautiful and intelligent and strong-willed. If she walks in the room and then like lays it out, I don't think that anyone in the room is going to be like distracted in any way, or they're not going to stop her. They'll be like, "Wow,
check this."
Taken aback.
Here's something you don't think about. I probably don't think about. Women can only be beautiful for so many years, I guess.
Beauty is fleeting.
Like that's weird.
For most.
See, right. Well, everyone ages. I mean, eventually everyone's going to age. Even if you age beautifully, at some point your beauty, which is your greatest weapon, will fade. That's got to be scary and weird. I mean, like your one value in life is you're beautiful and everyone likes you. Like what happens to that in 15 years? Like, do you have to use that in 15 years? I mean, there's something I know about my own life. Like I'm at the fleeting years of my physical peak where I can play with my son. I can go for runs. I can jog. I can work out. I can do whatever the hell I want. Like I won't always be able to do that. Like at some point that will fade, and that scares me. So does that happen to all women? I mean, because their beauty used to be one of the only positive qualities they can use to advance in the world. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's that stereotype that
it's not like
beautiful secretaries are somehow wealthy.
I understand it's a stereotype, but they can actually use it. Yeah. Correct.
You're leaning on as we age. If you're 30s and 40s as a strong-willed, handsome man, quote unquote. It's like if you're ambitious and striving to do something as a man, a woman will be attracted to that. But a woman, men are attracted to the physical beauty more so. So as they age, men start to lose interest.
Exactly.
But women view it oppositely. As a provider.
That's wild, because we just discussed on the whole sex drive thing. That's exactly it, isn't it? Like men are constantly wanting to have sex.
I think that's also the thing too, is that older men are looking at younger women, and it's something about like the way they are, the way they act, their like skin. It's just like the physical beauty they're attracted to. So it concentrates the attention on women when they're younger, and I think it flips entirely when they're older, when nobody's interested in them, and they go like, "What the hell?" Like I think it happens to women, and then they like wonder like what happened. Like I wonder what your perception of the normal world is at that point, because by the time you hit puberty as a girl, you're probably given a ton of attention if you're attractive, and then there's a point where you don't get attention at all, and you're 20 years later, 30 years later,
right? What
and
happens?
You wonder like, oh,
well, what if this is scarier? This is even scarier. What if you know it's coming?
How do you know that you're losing your attractiveness, or you lost it?
They look at themselves in the mirror every day, the same way I look at myself in the mirror every day. But I'm not judging myself on my eyebrows or my lip color.
You're not applying
I don't
makeup,
have to worry about that.
Eyeliner.
That's crazy, dude. Do you know how much time they spend on makeup and like
too much
shave like on 100%? But I guess they have to, because once it started, you can't stop. Like, you can't be the one that doesn't shave your armpits and has hairy legs and like a unibrow, because then I want to say I wouldn't treat you different, but I don't know that I would. Like, do you know what I mean?
I'm looking up sexiest unibrow to see if there's.
Is it Anthony Davis?
Who is Anthony Davis? There
is
a model.
Player. Okay.
I'm gonna get her name because she does have a very interesting unibrow.
Is it good look?
Can you give it to her? It's a god. Sophia Hajipanatelli.
That's what I thought it was.
Yeah, because.
Who is she? Is she hot?
It's weird. I don't know.
Share it in the chat.
I feel like the unibrow is preventing a boner.
No, send it in the chat so I can see it. All right.
I will. 21-year-old Greek, but it's really like she has like maybe like blonde brownish hair, light brown hair, and her brow is really dark, so it's like almost black, and she's pretty. Like if you were to take the unibrow out of it, I'm trying to block the unibrow now. Yeah, she's gorgeous, and then it's unibrow. You're just like, but again, that might be a unique feature. People might be like, this woman's gorgeous. She's making unibrows the new thing.
That's not a fetish, right? It's more like,
I want to trim that unibrow with my teeth.
Damn it. It's not weird because it's a unibrow. It's weird because you want to bite her above her nose.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
forehead is off limits for sexiness.
Like, yeah, I don't think the forehead is sexy.
I guess you can't really bite or lick.
Between a sexy woman's forehead and like a man's forehead?
I would like to have. We should do this as a competition, like just weird pieces of people. It's like showing an armpit, and then when it looks like a vagina, and you're just like, oh, I'm looking at it, and then it pulls out, pans out.
I love that quiz. I know that one. I'm talking about like differences between men and women on like weird body, like your ears or something. Do women have different ears than men?
Back of the knee pit. Can you tell a man versus a woman knee pit?
So where are men, women different physically? Like, we do have different chins, right? Or is that made up too?
I mean,
I know you, buddy.
Obviously, facial structure is different. There's no, I don't know. The eyeball, like the actual eyeball, might be the same.
Okay. Is the eye
the size of the eye might vary a little bit? Women definitely have different brows. It's like the.
Do they? Or do they pluck
the skeletal? Anytime you're showing like skeleton, I think the male skeleton is more pronounced.
Oh, dude, I gotta check this out now. Man versus woman skeleton.
I think it's the testosterone. I think the testosterone makes
it does change some of your stuff, but I didn't think it changes your skeleton, does it?
Plus, also male body fat is lower than women's, so like the women's features are softer.
I understand with that, and that makes sense. And the whole boobs and vagina and penis thing, I get that. So it's going to change your chest area. What about like stomachs?
Wider hips, you're going to know from the lower part.
I guess
of the stomach.
at the bottom. Okay. What about your thighs and stuff? Women have like hot thighs and they're like bigger butts, like
hairy thighs. But that's men.
What is with the hair thing? Would women grow as much hair as men?
On the legs? I don't think so. They have the little fine hairs. Man hands on a woman?
Them whatever. They don't. What about women who never shave in their entire life? I know.
I don't think they're that hairy. I've dated women that were hairy, and it was not as hairy as I am.
But did they shave at one point in their lives?
Like just once.
I mean, even if it was a year ago, what if I shaved and then like 6 months later, someone was like, "Oh, you have barely any hair." I'm gonna be like, "Give it a full year."
So you're talking about men in drag, really? If you wax your legs and you have feminine features, can you pull off?
I guess.
Can you wear a dress and pull it off? I mean, there have been things where like men's butts look feminine.
Someone actually said I have beautiful eyebrows. I've never touched them with anything, so I don't know. Eyebrows on fleek.
It's very odd.
Oh, and actually, you know what's crazy? I actually have beautiful eyelashes. They're really long for a guy. I've never done any product or anything, but no, just saying.
What was that one episode where you put on eyeliner? Said you had daddy issues.
Yeah, that's right. Ange put eyeliner on me on my I forget where it goes, under or above, but I'm like, I look good. I was wearing that's right, the open shirt. That was a good episode.
Yeah.
So let's segue into drag real quick, because I actually think I don't like the look of.
Have you ever been fooled by a man and thought they had a good physique and then realized, oh wait, that's a man?
I don't think I have, but
you definitely have.
No, you know why? I don't like. This is a real thing, and I'm not racist or
sexist.
I'm not transphobic or anything like that. I'm not. You can do whatever the hell you want. I don't care. I don't find men in drag attractive at all. It looks ugly to me. Is that a thing? Like, without being mean, I'm not trying to be like transphobic. I actually think it just looks ugly. Like, I'm like. Pfft.
So there was one person that I knew in college that had very feminine features for a man, and he could look like a woman. Like, he could. Okay. You take one look and a pretty woman.
Eyeliner, boom, boom.
Yeah. Because, like, the way he was also gay, so maybe that had something to do with it, some sort of body chemistry, I don't know, that made him look more feminine. But he had very soft features. So if he dressed up in drag, which I had seen him in drag one time, I thought
he
pulled it off. Woman? Yeah, like, you wouldn't know that he was a man until you get closer.
Like a good-looking woman.
Yes.
Really? Okay.
But it's not like, I think you, as a man, like, you don't feel that, like, guttural pull towards that sexiness. It's like I thought, like, he looked like kind of like a cute woman. Like, it's like curiosity. It's not like I saw him and was like, oh yeah. It's not like, I think that's like a mental processing thing, and there's something within the chemistry and the pheromones or whatever that you can tell.
What if we were 100% gay? Do you think we'd have the same sex drive?
Towards the same sex?
Yeah. Obviously.
Probably. I assume that's how it works. But
so we want to plow all the time?
With other men? I mean, isn't that the definition of bears? I mean, a grizzly?
I thought they were just hairy guys who had big chests and were big. I don't know. I thought that was a bear.
I thought that was like a bear was like an aggressive male that was going after other males.
Yes. Well, we got to brush up on our terminology here.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just going with what. See, we're touching on what makes us horny in a way. Is that a thing? It sounds so weird to say it like that.
So what other features of women are we going to touch on here?
They're all hot in their own way. Is that weird?
No, there's definitely unique things, mannerisms. Female mannerisms are different than male mannerisms. So it's like...
Yeah, the way they talk, the way they hold themselves, the way they walk. Mm-hmm. I 100% agree with that. But this comes into what you mentioned about makeup and how long they spend on it and their hair and everything. They do this
it's a passive,
to attract us,
aggressive
and it's
way.
Weird because I don't like it. I don't
like makeup either.
I don't, and I don't care that you spend 4 hours with your hair. I'm like, just be you. Like, if you spent less time on it, do whatever. But
it's actually sexier. Yeah, it's like I'm who I am.
I'm also
enjoying
I'm attracted to them either way. Like, whether they spend a long time, like I do appreciate that. I think subconsciously, but I also would be attracted to them without. If that makes sense, right?
Yeah. In a day-to-day, so this is also like the perception of who you want to date versus who you actually date. It's like you'd rather be sitting on the couch and ripping farts and you're both laughing at each other as like 90% of the time. But that 1% of the time that you just like flaunt what you got, you're also like in awe of that person. Like, yeah, I got that trophy wife.
Right, you did. Yes.
I got
mama.
I got arm a sexy candy. Mama. Mm-hmm.
You got that arm candy.
And that's really what men talk about. They don't talk about the moments that you're just like laughing about something stupid with your wife. It's not like you're sharing. So this is also going back to like how men don't like console with other men. They're like, oh, it's okay, buddy. It's like they don't share those moments that are just like naturally good, like casually good moments with women. Like they don't share. We cuddled.
I agree with you. We don't. No, I wouldn't be like to my friends or whatever.
We giggled.
I don't have friends anymore. Yeah.
We're watching.
She tooted, but she tooted, and we both laughed, but we kept going.
Yeah, and
we finished strong.
And then we watched The Notebook afterward.
What if? I mean, would you do that? I don't care.
I haven't, but she's been watching The Notebook, and I sat down and was like, "I'll watch this.
Okay.
It's okay. Yeah, it's all right."
Yeah, I have no problem with any of this shit. That's the other thing that's changed in my life. I think there was like an attitude to be manly. Is that a thing?
Yeah, I think
you don't watch The Notebook, you don't cuddle and stuff like that, and that's. I always would joke along with it, but I never really.
It's a misperception.
I never practiced. Yeah, I never practiced what I preached anyway, or practiced what other people preached.
Mm-hmm. I think some people buy into that, though. I think some people are 100%
people
that way.
Really do it, and then they're like, "I'll have sex, but then I'll make her make me a sandwich," and I'm like, "Dude, you're like we're not 16, dude, relax."
Yeah.
But like grown adults will say it, and if it's like a 40-year-old saying it, you're like, "Oh, Jesus Christ, you're stuck in this, aren't you?"
Yeah, it's the same thing with raising kids. Like the amount of time I spend raising kids, it feels like I do equal or more, and that seems abnormal. But I'm not sure. It does
in recollection with your parents.
Yeah,
do you think
I don't recall my parents, my dad.
Do you think men and women roles have changed already in one generation removed from us?
I never saw my dad come home early, make dinner for us, wash the dishes. None of these things. Or like, I kind of remember wrestling with him, but I don't remember him like
playing with you.
Yeah, doing like yeah. I don't remember him reading a book to me. Like, there's some things like he'd rather go outside and play sports.
Like, because I mean,
do you think he selective memory?
2 or 3 years old. Well, if he did it less, it would be not even selective memory. Like if he did it 10 times in a year, and your mom did it 70 times in a year, guess what? You're probably going to remember that one. Yeah. But do you think he did, or do you think he just didn't?
But men are very I feel like men are more objective oriented, goal oriented in a lot of ways. So like a man is going to do something with definitive purpose. It's not going to be the casual moment where you like go to the grocery store together. Like dad and his son go to the grocery store. That's not a thing that I ever remember.
So weird. Dude, I am, of the two of us and in this podcast and maybe in the world, I am so a woman in this regard.
Yeah.
I used to go to the grocery store with my son on Mondays when I had off on Monday, and it was our thing.
That was a you and him.
Yeah.
I do that with my son too, but I don't recall ever doing that with my dad when I was little on any sort of regular basis.
Right. It's just weird. I give him all his baths. Part of it's because our hands have like whatever that disease is called, where you get like chapped fingers and all that. Thank you. Yeah, it's like psoriasis, not exactly, but like I kind of tuck him in at night and like give him his stuff. Like he gets some medicine and a teeth brush and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Probably give him more hugs. Like I'm like Mr. Mom.
I think I surprise people when he comes up to me. He says, my I hurt myself. I say, where did you hurt yourself? I give my kiss a little pat.
Get a little kiss.
I think I see like the daycare workers look at me and they wonder, like, I don't think I ever see another man do that. I really don't.
It is funny. But again, I think we touched on this earlier. I think gender roles are changing just in general because eventually, if you're in a room of people and there's 100 people, if everyone starts going to one side of the room, like everyone's doing one thing and these are gender roles and everything, the people who are doing something different or otherwise will start attracting more people, because I mean, people want something unique, new, fun, fresh. They want, like, women are attracted to people who do things different. Like that's like mating. That's like attraction 101. What sets you apart is what makes you unique.
Ambitious outliers stand out from the crowd.
Which is so weird because it's like stay-at-home dads seem more ambitious than like a guy who's working a construction job. You know what I mean? 9 to 5 sometimes, not always.
I don't see where you're going with that one, but
just that the gender roles will change so that like now it's like shifting to maybe all the dads who do that stuff are more attractive and more evolutionary advantages to their mates or look better or like will attract more females.
I'm going to say I don't think so. Like women will say they look for like the caring and gentle man, but I think that's a whole crock of shit. I think they're looking for the guy that's like entertaining them and like active and like aggressive. Aggressive in a nice way.
Of course. I think you're touching on something weird because there's also a generational thing. No, I'm going with this. I think you're talking on a generational thing. The generation right now who's coming out is constantly being entertained. They have access to all the information in the world. They have smartphones since they were 5. They have been on dating websites. Every website, they can order sex, they can order food, they can order weed at this point. So at this point, they're looking for what you just said will entertain them, whether it's a man or a woman. But both have equal access to this. And I think it needs to change roles in general. Like it's kind of equaling the playing field, I guess.
That it's equally easy to find. See, this is where I don't agree, because like if you're on Tinder and you're a man, it's probably very hard to find a woman. But if you're a woman on Tinder looking for a man, you could probably dial up a dick in like 5 minutes.
A little bit, but think of this: how many women are having sex with how many dicks? Do you think there's only like 5 dicks and like 500 women that are fucking the same dick? Excuse my language.
I think there's like ready to go. There's probably a ratio of like 10 to 1, like dicks.
It's not 10 to 1. No.
At any given time,
there's not one dick
This is the whole thing with dating websites, is that the dating websites can't bring in enough women, so they create fake robotic AI women to keep you entertained.
Who's having sex with a robot and doesn't know it until it happens?
Men.
Check this.
Sex dolls. How many women have a sex doll?
It takes this many people to have sex, correct? Sometimes more, sometimes less.
One and one. Okay.
Yeah, one and
2
one.
people.
Okay. I'm showing you 2. Who are the women having sex with when they go on these websites?
One man, maybe.
Okay. What? All of them?
Who? How many women do you think sign up for a Tinder or sex website? It's probably a fraction of the number of men. Men are always looking. Like there's even if you're taking.
I see what you're saying, but you're disregarding the point. Equal amount of men and women are having sex from Tinder.
Yes, and then the other men are sulking and wondering where their mate is.
Well, there's going to be, there's probably not as many as you think, because I think hooking up is much easier now.
Now you think that it's becoming more equalized?
Yeah, because people are going to die of loneliness. We're not going to get into this episode, but like we're so connected that we're disconnected, and I think that people can just order this shit up. I think like we talked with past guest, someone who's been on the podcast, and she said it was like ordering a person.
Yeah.
And she did it, and you hook up. I mean, that's what you do. A buddy of mine. It is kind of. It's weird. It's not a real connection. I understand that, but I'm just saying, people are having sex. Men and women, and men and men, and women and women.
So most frustrating aspects of women, I think were.
Ooh.
When I was younger, it was always that the women weren't as interested as I was. So I'd always go like full bore into something and be like, try to experience it as much as possible.
Interesting.
Both, actually. I don't think women are as interesting as men.
I knew you were going to say it, dude. I knew it was coming here. That's why you do a podcast with a man, isn't it?
I feel like men try to do a lot more than women try to do in general. I'm going to keep saying that.
What I will say, devil's advocate.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily agree or disagree. I've shared more of a life with you. I mean, we've gone through a lot of the same things. We played a lot of the same sports. We've done a lot of the same things. We know a lot of the same people. We went to the same school.
Similar background.
Not just background, like our life experience.
Hobbies, yeah.
Hobbies, a lot of things, which is also shaped by how we were raised or how we lived our lives. I think it's harder for you or I or anyone to connect with someone who didn't have any of that. Like a woman is raised entirely differently. Like they live differently, and maybe they're more passive aggressive. Is that what you want to say? Maybe they're more competitive. Maybe they flip flop more. But I think if you did that, I don't think they'd be less interesting. I think it's a different interest point. It's a different perspective. It's a different way of life. And I don't think you like that way of life. I think you're glad where you are, but I don't know.
You're thinking if it flipped the other way where they were way more interested in me, I would perceive them as needy. I would say, oh, I don't want to be with this woman because she just seems kind of crazy.
What do you think all women say men are more interesting?
I don't know. I think
here's one. This is crazy. Here's my sexism. I think men are funnier than women.
I think most people would agree. Yeah.
Isn't that weird?
I think women are more critical of other women, so it's harder to laugh at another woman.
It could be.
I think men are funnier most of the time.
Right. Oh, dude, there are tons of funny women, and there are women. I've dated a girl. She was very funny. Like, there are funny women. I'm not saying that, but I find in general men are funnier. Is that a thing?
That might also be a generational thing.
Could be.
It might also be that.
It could be my perspective in sexism, but whatever you want to call it. I don't care.
Yeah. Yeah, I was going to use a specific example, but
go ahead.
It's not worthwhile. I don't know.
Not applicable?
It applies, but it's not. I don't know where it goes. Like, okay, Joe Rogan podcast. I was listening to one with Whitney Cummings, and she was definitely with it. She knew, like, she had the same train of thought that Rogan had, and like most people would have, and she was funny. I don't know that I've seen her stand up, but I think if I did, I think it would be equally as funny. You just don't have as many Whitney Cummings out there that would balance out the number of men you think of the comedy.
Sure.
Because the number of men...
What we just said, the generality, where you're talking about individual. There are definitely individuals that will break the mold and be funnier than men, et cetera, et cetera. But and
it's a different kind of funny, too. I think the women fall into a type of funny that is like the setup type of funny. A stereotypical type of funny, which is easier to do. Like a Betty White. Like a Betty White has a comedy that comes with her.
Right, because she's old and innocent, and she's like this white old lady that's 86. So anytime she says anything outlandish, it's hilarious.
No, I don't fucking care. Like, I could see her saying that and people would crack up.
Right, because she's 86 and there's some white lady from wherever she's from, and like it's funny that someone would say that.
Yeah,
I agree with you, but you still have to be funny to deliver funny. Funny's a whole episode. We can talk about funny for. I do want to do one with What the Famicom.
Funny?
No, comedy funny episode. I'm dead serious. And
okay, that's fine.
The episode will explain itself.
What about your frustrations with women, Nick?
I just hate that. Oh, here we go. Check this out. Women are planners.
Somewhat, yeah. Okay.
Oh,
they're schemers. Like schemers is the better word, I think.
I don't like schemer. I like planner because I think it has to do with planning the next trip, the next vacation, the next daycare visit.
See, I have a different perspective because my woman always wants to go on a trip, always suggests a trip, but she will never plan a trip.
Really? It's the opposite with me, and I find that most men have my problem where they're like, I don't even know. I just signed up. I was like, yeah, we'll go.
You don't care? Just put a drink in my hand and let me sit here.
Well, not just that. Like, I'm like, oh, what's Wednesday? And she's like, I told you 3 months ago.
Yeah,
we're going to visit my cousin who goes to so and so, and they're going to be in town on Wednesday. And I'm like,
I told you.
That's right.
I'm like, the expectation that you care and would remember something that you heard offhand.
Yeah, heard 3 months ago, and then I'm like, I signed up for it. I was like, yeah, we'll do that in 3 months. That's whatever. And then 3 months shows up, and all of a sudden she's like, remember, I told you we're going to so and so, and I'm like,
scheduler is really what it's a dictating control over your life.
Schedule, a plan, it's planning. But yeah, they tend to be better at that or do that better.
Do you ever notice that, like, when your woman perceives that you're into another woman, or another woman is into you, like, she will try to dictate what you do so that you don't interact with that woman?
Not the way you said it, but I can tell she talks a different way.
Yeah.
She says something different about something, and she thinks she's being like...
She's hedging in to make sure that you're not swayed.
She's totally like, well, I noticed you talked to so-and-so. And I'd be like...
Is that because she's attractive?
And I'd be like, listen... We've been together for years, and you've never started a sentence with, I noticed you talked to John the other day about the garden. Like, you don't say that. So I know...
Did he ask about the roses?
It's weird that you did that. And I'll be like, back off. Relax. It's all good.
Did you pick
but
up
do you think...
petals? They fell to the floor. I hoped you noticed.
I think...
Rosebud.
I think... Sprinkles in the buckle. I think even what we're talking about right now is
Salter.
Salt. Do you know who Salt Bay is?
Salt Bay, yeah.
You know,
he's really good at salting things.
He's the man, dude. He freaking. The other day I saw him.
That's this generation's Bam. Emerald Lagasse.
Yeah,
Bam.
Yeah, he is. That is Bam. He is Bam.
Yeah.
He. The other day I saw him put a piece of meat, like a giant rack of ribs or something, whatever. It's just beautiful, right? And
nice piece of meat.
The video, all one cut. So this is a video.
Perfect.
Him walking with his legs into an elevator. He went up the elevator. Cut never stopped. He went out to the balcony, and he drizzled salt, and it landed perfectly on the meat that he had left down 2 floors down, and then a little bit of some kind of cheese sauce, and it landed on it. And the camera work was great. And I was like, "What? We don't need this." I was like, "Why do you have to go up 2 floors to put salt and cheese on some meat?"
So are men more creative?
No, I don't agree.
You don't think so?
Nah, women do creative, crazy shit. I mean, they make stories, they make art, they make songs, whatever.
I think there's a large percentage of women that hark on their beauty and use that as a tool, and that distracts from the women who are genuinely creative.
I don't disagree. And I also think that putting your time in one field or activity will preclude you from being good at another field or activity. And women are often doing X, Y, and Z, so they don't do as much crazy stuff as men. But could you say that's because men are afforded the opportunity to not spend time on makeup, not spend time on catching up with girlfriends?
Have you ever seen a woman in a wingsuit?
Yeah, I want to say yes, but one out of 1,000.
Yeah,
I can't actually identify that. Now, could you also say that's stupid?
Yeah, because everybody who started that quote-unquote sport is dead.
Are you serious?
Yeah, like everyone who originally started wingsuit diving or flying or falling laterally. I don't know what you want to call it. They died.
Falling laterally?
Yeah, they died from being in a wingsuit and hitting the ground at the wrong time, inopportune moment.
I kind of want to do it now.
You want to get in a wingsuit?
Yeah.
I would do it, but I would not do it from a mountain. Yeah. I would like jump out of a plane and be like, I'm just gonna wingsuit fly, and then be like, by the time I got near the ground, I'd be like, oh, parachute.
Oh, you have a parachute. Okay.
Yeah.
Good call.
They don't like. It's not like they land.
Wait, have you ever jumped out of a plane?
I have not. I can't do that now because I have kids. Like I just feel like if it failed, it'd be awful.
It's 1 in like a million die.
No, not gonna risk it.
You should do it.
You've done it.
Have you started training? Yeah, I lived. Believe it or not.
Yeah, but it probably wasn't that great.
No, it was amazing. I still dream about it. This is off topic, but I have to bring it up.
Okay.
I paid the extra money to go to 10,000 feet, I think it was.
Higher falling rate?
Yeah.
Terminal velocity.
An extra $40, whatever. No, your terminal velocity is your terminal velocity. Reach it probably like 5 seconds, 10 seconds after you jump out of the plane. You're tandem, you're with somebody, so an expert. He has the parachute.
A dude's got you between his legs.
He's got me.
The best part of it, right?
It's weird because you don't realize that this is not a carnival. Because I treat it like a carnival ride, like you're going on a merry-go-round or a roller coaster, and I'm like, everyone does this. Like, you know how many people have done this? And I literally tell myself 100 times, 1 million people have done this, 10,000 people have done this. Everyone lives. It's fine. You're good. When you start marching towards the door and they open the plane door, this weird thought goes through your head. No one's ever done it from right here. This exact XYZ coordinate on the earth. No one's ever jumped from where I am. And to my knowledge, I'm pretty sure no one ever has. So you look out in the sky and you can't even see the ground. There's just clouds and shit. And the plane's going and a guy's yelling to you and he's telling you instructions, but you can't hear because your stomach stopped. All the acid's dropped. That feeling on the roller coaster when you get to the top and you changed your mind. You don't want to do this and you want to tell him, but it's all you can hear is the scream of the wind. And you're like, this is a bad idea. And he rocks you 1, 2, 3 and you drop. And all you feel is wind and the earth coming at you. And it's the weirdest feeling. No one will ever tell you how loud it is, too. It's the loudest thing that's ever happened to you.
It sounds dumb.
Wild. No, it's fucking wild. I still have dreams about it. Rushing to the earth at like 600 mile an hour. Is that terminal velocity? It might be 160. It might just be 160. I think it's 160. I was fatter. Didn't have a six pack. Now I can go. I'm more slim.
Don't touch on that.
Anyway, women.
Are we more critical of women or men who are overweight, underweight? I think it shows more in women.
Critical of women overweight, but keep in mind, I think
it's easier.
Very critical of overweight men too. Like I don't think it's like, oh, we love overweight men. No, I think everyone judges them too. We're like, oh, fatty's out of breath, or something like that.
I think there are more assumptions furled upon an overweight woman than an overweight man. Because like an overweight man, you could imagine that he's playing games or doing something that's unathletic. But an overweight woman, you imagine her just like at home watching TV, eating ice cream or something. Like you're making up.
Yeah, but I don't value the one more than the other, though.
That is true. You're discounting both of them. But their origin story is completely different between a man and a woman, isn't it?
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Has there ever been a fat superhero? Other than Thor, the Blob.
I didn't see that. Don't bring it up.
Okay, sorry. But it's genuinely like his thing is like he's too fat. Like or she's too fat. I'm not gonna be sexist here.
Mm-hmm.
Like a super person.
I think. Check this. What if you're fattish and boring, and not that intelligent, and you're a woman? Like, do you think there's not a lot of room for advancement in your life? Versus if you're fat, you're fairly boring, and you're not that intelligent, do you think a fat man could make good money?
I think of dependency in that, yeah, like I feel like a woman would be more dependent on whatever versus a man, but that's probably not true. I think men can be just as dependent and just as maybe emotionally damaged, maybe in that case, physically damaged.
Yeah, I could see that.
They could be a wounded puppy. What are we cared for? They could be that dependent.
Here's the thing that stuck with me ever since I was like 7, 8, 9, somewhere in there, somewhere between 7 and 9. My dad had his men's league softball, and men's league, they drink their kegs, they drink their beer. Yeah. I knew all the guys, but they would be drinking and talking to me as like, no. Oh, the women would drink too. Trust me, they were sailors. They would curse and drink, etc.
Okay.
All the men always had the same jokes. Hey, buddy, don't get married. Women, am I right? You can't kill them. You can't do this. The old ball and chain got me going back home, little guy. Good luck to you. Hey, pal, you know what? Women.
Oh, this
damned
touches
if you
on
do,
something.
Damned if you don't. And it's so weird. That was a very recurring theme from like 7 to 10 to 11. Every guy who was like over 30 who talked to me, and I had no clue what the freak they were talking about. I was like, yeah, okay, sir. Yeah, man. Okay, buddy. Like they would just say things, but it was always like anti-woman. It was like super, like to the point where I thought it was weird. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Did you get that?
Yeah, I got that entirely. Those exact cliches. I feel like a man, when he doesn't have a woman, he's aimless and meandering, and he's there's a hopelessness that sets in that like you are not doing what you were designed to do. And I think men almost require a woman at that point. They like have to have somebody that will be a companion sexually. And when it happens, they regret it a little bit. I think it's a whole lot more than that. I think women provide a whole variety of things.
Companionship. Yeah. Right. Oh.
And men are clueless as to what they provide until it happens. And they, even when they have everything from that woman, they still kind of resent it because they still want to be actively doing the thing, actively searching out whatever it is that they can never attain.
It's interesting you put it that way. I never thought of it that way. That's really good. Like they want to still be looking for women, like the act of peacocking, showing your stuff, newly dating, the freshness.
I think that's a genetic thing, because you're always trying to spread your seed. Disagree. And if you could, you would, but the social norms don't allow you to do that. Plus, your effort and energy are only going to be drained by having a variety of women that you've had kids with. multiple ex-wives, like how happy are the people that have like 5 ex-wives?
Oh my god,
that sounds awful.
5 ex-wives? That sounds terrible, dude. That's like you had 5 marriages?
Yeah.
Good lord.
So there's a core part to this that I think women in general have a lot of the same qualities, and I reason this like earlier on when I was like do I want to go off and find a different woman? The pieces that I'm annoyed with in my wife are the pieces that I'd be annoyed with in like 99% of women. I think they all have the same basic core pieces that would be like, oh god, like she's gonna do that again. Like I feel like they would all be that way.
Check this. This is gonna rock your world. What if you like? Because the constant joke is that I'm gay. Okay, I think I'm gay.
You think it's a joke, but
I'm appalled by men. That's the only problem. Literally, it's the only thing stopping me.
It's the action. You're just like, oh.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Anyway, how did I get in this position?
Wish I was.
Yeah.
Is the joke because I think I like men better because men are more interesting or funny or stronger or cooler and they have more to say, and I think if I was just gay, I could just get along with a guy. Isn't that like a running joke?
They're more open to whatever.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, I would live with a guy. We could be married. We would never have to worry about the dishes. He wouldn't yell at me about where I put my shoes. He wouldn't do this. I'd be like, that would be the perfect arrangement. But would it?
It would sink to a certain level where one of you would be.
I would hate him too.
Yeah.
No, I would hate him too. So again, it's almost like we keep running into the same problems, whether it's a man or a woman. So what is the difference between men and women? I don't friggin' know. I still don't know. Let's say you could be gay. You find your partner, right? You just flip the switch.
Want to flip it?
Yeah, I do.
Let's say you dated a woman who became a lesbian because she dated you.
But that's a woman.
Yeah, but why did she become a lesbian after she dated you?
Oh, once you've had filet mignon, you can't have like little tiny steaks. You know what I'm saying?
Little guppy steaks.
you can't have no flank steak after that. You know what I'm saying? Just what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm. Okay, sorry. What were you saying?
Can't have no flank steak. No. Let's say I can flip a switch. I'm gay. Boom. Perfect. Your name is Travis. Excellent. Let's date. Let's get married. I think I would eventually just hate his guts. I'd be like, you have the worst. You don't get back to me ever. You keep playing this video game and never getting back to me. Like, do you know what I mean? You would run into the exact same problems.
The same annoyances would come up and be concentrated over time. They'd build up, and you'd be like,
do you think it would be any different than being straight and dating a woman?
So the weird part is when I have fights with my wife, there's that makeup sex that happens that resolves all issues, and both of you are like,
for like
who cares?
5 minutes.
Yeah, for like 5 days. If you have a good marriage, yeah, sure. It lasts a lot longer.
Does it? Wait, I guess makeup sex will literally fix your relationship for like a month?
Yeah. That's how I think that's how you know. Say when you have a fight and you battle it out, eventually
hold on, because I know how long your most recent coitus lasted. There's no way that's worth a month, is it?
And I don't think time is no object.
Oh, Jesus Christ. That's the best answer I've ever heard in my life. Anyway, so hold on. Oh, Jesus Christ. So here's the question. So if you are gay, you have sex with your partner, right? Boom.
Yeah.
Sex is big.
I guess you could have the same emotional bonding. Sure. That would happen through it. I guess I don't know. Keep going.
So then what I'm getting at is, what's the difference between men and women? I mean, honestly. So if you could do this with a guy and you do your thing, you both get off, you're both happy. I mean, are you going to run into the same problems you run into with women? Like the jokes we tell about women? I think you do at some point. I think it's just two people aren't meant to be together because they're two separate friggin' people.
So
whether it's a man, a woman, a gay, a straight, a trans, I don't care. I think you run into this problem where you're trying to fit two lives into one life, and you both friggin' hate each other.
I do have a tangent. So you're dating a woman that's a breadwinner, and it's supposedly there's a lot of female breadwinners, but of the women that I know, I don't see many of them as breadwinners. The majority of the ones, a lot of marriages, it's unequal, and then the woman will say like she's doing her part, like whatever that might be.
Oh, hold on, dude, good lord, dude, you're making this argument at me.
Yeah.
What if I say I'm doing my part? I'm literally trying my best. So go ahead. What are you going to say to me? We're dating now.
I'm saying that there's like a career aspect that I don't see in women, like the drive. It's the aggressiveness. It's the focus on an end goal. Like I'm sure that happens with a good percentage of women, but sometimes women settle and then they just kind of exist. And it's a weird type of thing that I don't understand. Like the stay-at-home moms, like not ripping on them, but when you say like my career is a stay-at-home mom, it's a weird thing to say because it's already limiting. Like,
see, I disagree with you right off the bat. Like you're putting so much value on A, money, B, society's effect on money, and B, I understand money is needed to do all the things we need to do, but it's like there's other shit like raising your family is literally
1950s housewife.
No, just think about it. I mean, when you get old enough to almost die, what you're going to look back on is your family. Like, who raises your kids?
The outcome
teaches them? Yeah, I mean, that's ultimately the only goal I have left. It's not my income. It's not this. It's like how I want my children to be raised, how I want them to grow, what I want them to become. And again, I can't control it, but I can help guide them. I can help be there. I can help, I don't know, educate them, give them morals. Like stuff like that's way more important than what I do and how much I make at a job.
Invaluable.
Isn't it? Yeah. You can't even put a number on that. So that if you make X amount of figures at X amount of job, like that's respectable. Like that's good work, but you can't put a number on.
It's quantifiable. Yeah.
It is, but it's quantifiable. What you do on raising a kid, isn't it?
Like the quality of like raising a person is, like you said, it's immeasurable.
You can't put a number on it. It's weird. I don't know. Right? Do you disagree? Do you agree? I don't know. Like, what's more important to you? Now, keep in mind, you have the ability to make this money. Like, could your wife, go out and make the exact same money you could and do exactly what you could if she really worked hard at it for, like, let's say 6 months? Could she make that money? Is it possible?
Yeah.
How the fuck would you do that?
So I also think that there are women out there that want to be stay-at-home moms, and there's nothing wrong with that. But you also shortchange yourself in the long run because you can't pick up a career when you're 40-something and be like, okay, I'm now in this.
And your kid's going to be 14.
Yeah.
Like, what do you do? You're right. I agree with that.
It's a weird kind of setup that I think a lot of women fall into.
Isn't that heroic or warrior-like?
That you
like, what if you dedicated your life to be a warrior? Yeah, you're a warrior for your tribe. You literally train just to kill people, fight people, keep everyone safe in your tribe. And this skill will have no value to you once you're 45.
So we didn't touch on...
What's the difference? Hold on.
No, I think that's definitely something to have pride in. Like you have the like, what was it? Elephants? The I want to say maternal. The matriarch. Like the matriarch has the key. Like all the memory, all the guidance. I don't think it's the patriarch elephant that guides the tribe. It's the matriarch that remembers everything and guides them. Yeah. Really? Which is the same thing in a lot of like tribal villages. It's the matriarch because the women live longer. They lean on the matriarch in a lot of cases. And then what I was going to go to is that there's also that like hunter-gatherer versus homemaker. It's like there are certain things that are developed at like men like tracking something that's moving like in the brush. Like I feel like your skill at swatting flies, I don't think a woman can have that skill because it's harder for a woman to hone in on the thing that's moving.
couldn't they learn it, or you don't think so?
I don't know.
I have no idea.
I think that comes from like decades of generations of hunting, like actually going after something versus like.
Be as good at Call of Duty with knives and grenades only.
I doubt it.
As we were.
But women are also skillful at like the color of their eyes, like picking out different colors. Like they have usually like men are more often than not more colorblind than women.
Yeah, because women it's literally it's
scientific fact.
Genetically sex linked. No, it's sex linked, right?
Yeah,
it's on the Y chromosome.
Because I think women back then would look at berries and collect food and gather things and then inspect them. So they're like the resolution of the color of their eye, the variety of colors that they could see, the spectrum.
That's scientific, or are you just going off the cuff here?
A little 50-50.
Both.
Yeah.
I like it.
So no, they couldn't be very good at Call of Duty. Knives and grenades.
They're going to use guns.
And spray. They're going to spray and pray. Challenge us. We'll beat you in Call of Duty.
Oh, God. I actually, before this episode started, I wanted to do a whole episode on Call of Duty 4 and just talk about it. Would you do that one episode?
If you wanted, yeah. If we could set it up so we could play a game while we talk about it and be like, oh, I remember.
I don't know.
If we could go through the maps.
Do you think we could? Remember? Do you think we would muscle remember? Do you think
it would be interesting to see how quickly we get it back?
The timing with the grenades?
Ding, ding,
you know, I could time a grenade. No, I could time a grenade
before it even hits the ground.
Oh yeah, but one time I was in one of the maps. I can't remember the names of them all, and it's where there's a floor and a second floor. I held a grenade so long, threw it in the air, it exploded in the air at the second floor and killed him. He probably looked at this thing and was like, "This is bullshit." And I was probably like, "Oh my god, it worked!" Yeah, I could do something. Oh my god, do you think that was the game we were the best at?
Yes. Collectively, as a team.
Yeah, sure, collectively, sure, fair. Anyway, women.
Women gamers. There's a tilt happening. I think that women gamers are actually becoming more prevalent. It's becoming
they're more popular because who wants to look at a dude gaming versus a woman?
Twitch.
I 100%.
think Twitch is tilting the scales here. The types of games that women play are different.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Women. Can't live with them, can't kill them. It's an old joke. Ex-wife jokes, women jokes, blonde jokes. It's coming around, guys. They're going to start saying dark hair jokes about men.
Yeah, it's the sexy eyes, the sexy walk. There's something in the way. She moves.
I agree with you. How do we round it out? How do we finish this?
I don't know that you can. I don't think you can capture all that is woman. Hear her roar.
You like the way they smell?
Most of them. most of their. Dude, we didn't talk about vagina at all. That's a slight correlation to what you just said.
Not related at all. But it is the warmest, tightest. It's just.
So as men, we should probably talk about that.
For a penis.
That actually having sex with a woman without a condom is, bar none, the best feeling a man can have physically.
Except for, I think I went 26-4 in a Call of Duty match with knives only. Or up there.
Or a foot massage or back scratch.
I love that you compare like simple things like a foot massage.
But honestly, the first time you had sex,
no, mine was
awkward. The first time you really loved a woman, enjoyed her company, and you wanted to have passionate,
good sex. Good old.
The first time she let you come in her, and you were like, "We are one," whatever you want to call it. The time you're trying to make a baby,
good way to put it.
Yeah.
That's a good way to put it. That's one of the best feelings in the world.
Yeah, because it's like a finally,
it's literally
you can feel
the
the
most
Holy Grail.
Intimate. It's the most. It's so weird. It always comes back to sex, dude. The sex drive, the sex want, the sex need, the venom that's inside you. You just gotta pour it out, pound it out. Ugh. I think that's literally one of the only things that separates men and women after this talk. It's the sex drive. I mean, physically, the hormones that change your body physically, I get that. But I think I would react kind of like they would. I think I would deal with periods probably the same way they would. I think I would.
Yeah, complain, be like, I feel terrible.
Yeah. This sucks. Yeah. Oh, Jesus. Oh, my God. You don't have to deal with it. I would totally bring that up a lot, right? Like, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because
do you think birthing a child is really as painful as they say?
Yeah, I mean, but there's a weird thing that I've experienced with pain. Like, what is pain? Pain is something you can only experience in the present tense. You can't experience it in the past tense. You can't experience it in the future tense. So
someone
weird.
Can set you up for how painful it should be, and then maybe your expectations are trying to meet what the actuality is.
I mean, even regardless of that, like, your present tense is weird because it's seconds that are ticking by right now. You can't turn it off and say, whoa, that was too much. You can't say, yeah, they were right. This is too much for a man. We couldn't do it. And
would
then
you
turn it off? Like,
would you hold that against your wife? Has your wife ever said, well, I gave birth to your kids, you should? Have you ever tried to do that?
No.
Because you're not married.
Luckily, she's never done that.
No, but
damn.
I have had that.
Well, that's probably also not even true. That's probably just like a trope or a
Trump
stereotype.
She's trying to trump it.
She's trying to stereotype.
Trump me.
Trump you. Trump me. Trump you.
She's trying to win an argument. Winning arguments.
Check this.
Arguing. We didn't talk about arguing.
Oh my God, we could spend an episode on arguing. Check this.
We should. But wrap it up.
Who's more beautiful?
Me.
Women. It's women.
Women are more beautiful, soft, nice skin.
But is that
shape.
A thing? Is beautiful a scientific thing, or are we just making it up right now?
They have more to see. Men are flat. Women are curvy and tender.
Men have muscles and shit.
And women are more, like physique is kind of like physics. Like women have more physics going on. Like when they walk, there's more to it.
Bounce.
There's bounce. There's flow. Even like having sex.
Hold on. On the contrary, I don't disagree with you.
Yeah.
I'm not. I know what you're saying. But men have a more chiseled, rock hard look, right?
Some. They're more muscular in general.
Yeah, in general. I mean, I'm speaking in generalities because we're talking about women in general.
It's like a rock. Like, do you think what's more interesting to look at, a rock or a water balloon?
Yeah, I'll give you a water balloon.
Watch a water balloon bounce versus a rock bounce. Like a rock skipping on the water. It's not that you're looking at the rock and being like, "Wow, it's skipping on the water." You're looking at the water and going,
"You're right.
Look at it ripple."
How did it skip on water? Yeah, you're right.
Men are dumb as rocks.
They are. They are. Men are stupid as shit.
Yeah. Predictable.
Do you know I just engaged in something called a firework dare?
Did you hold it in your butt cheeks as it launched?
No, it was me and 6 other guys, and we set off fireworks, and we drew a circle in chalk in the driveway, and we all had to stand inside the circle, and whoever got outside the circle lost.
As a firework was going off in the middle?
Oh yeah, we put it right in the middle. It was one of those stupid poppers or whatever, but like you don't want that. We were barefoot, all of us were barefoot. So it's like we're all within like 8 feet of each other, and we're all kind of like not touching elbows, but like right outside.
You're all looking at each
range.
other, right?
Yeah. Oh, everyone's in the circle looking in the middle, and we set the firework off in the middle. And it was just so funny because my girlfriend opens the door, saw me. I have the leg wound and everything else and medical problems and everything. And she goes, "You don't even have fucking health insurance. Get the fuck out of there." And all the guys looked at me and laughed. And they were like, "That's the quote of the night." And I was like, set off a goddamn firework. And we set off the fireworks. You know what? Only one time did the firework come to me, and I did not budge. I just let that bitch burn on my foot. And, it hurt, but not like it didn't actually physically harm me. It just hurt. But it was like, that's what men do.
It's motherly,
like,
right?
I don't
there.
think women don't do that thing, which is weird. I don't know.
It's a challenge to the other to be more manly.
Yeah.
What would a womanly challenge be? Like, how would you challenge another woman to be more womanly?
Have a better pocketbook?
Yeah,
so
sexist prettier
for me to say.
Yeah.
I mean,
a prettier dress.
I just summed up sexism.
Boots.
I'm sexist, but
heels.
Weird. Yeah.
And we summed up women right there. We can end the episode. So sexist.
What's crazy is we're never going to solve this problem. We're never going to get to the root of it. I hope this episode,
women are an enigma.
I don't know.
You can't figure them out.
It's so weird. It took like an hour or whatever the hell time it is to get to that point.
Yeah.
We didn't even touch that. We don't understand them.
Yes.
We don't get them. We can't figure them out. We can't solve them.
You can't push a certain number of buttons to get a response. The response will never be the same.
Here's a question. So we think we know. Could we make them happy?
No. Never.
No.
Only for
I think we could.
Transient, temporary happiness. It's gonna.
I think we could if we made our lives miserable.
No, I think you could be miserable.
Even then?
Yes. I think they would constantly
require. Gave them grapes
so much from you that you would never
did everything. I gave them all my money.
They would never be happy.
Did this.
I think that's their function. I think their function is to drive you mad, to try to push you to do more, and it will always be to push you to do more.
Do you think they think the same of us? Like, why do women hate men? Women hate men. Let's be honest.
I think they do.
Is it because we're dirty? We are dirty.
Because we seemingly don't care.
That's holy shit! You cut right to the core on that one.
Yeah.
That was like, yeah. Is that because we're emotionally stunted? We don't talk amongst each other and get emotional, so that when we don't give it to them, they're like, "Wow, he really doesn't care."
You haven't seen Nick in 5 years. Have you talked to him recently? No.
Yeah,
he's gonna call eventually.
That's so wild that we do that with our friends. Like I'm like someone will be like, Ange is like, have you heard from so and so? It's been like a year, and I'll be like, I have no idea. I don't know. I texted him. He didn't text back. I didn't follow up. You didn't even follow up? Is he okay? Does his mom still have cancer? I'll be like, his mom has cancer? She'll be like, yeah, he told you that 2 years ago. And I'll be like,
I should probably text him.
yeah. It's like your best friend in the world, and it's like, oh, geez, I forgot. And it's like weird like that. Guys do that. I don't know what that's called, and I'm sure that it's not genetic. I'm sure it's just the way we're raised and the way we live our lives. But I like the man way of living. I will agree with that.
100%. Yeah, I wouldn't want to be a woman
because it's more laid back. It's more like, who fucking cares?
Yeah.
More like guys can come in and out of each other's lives. They're more easygoing. Is that a term?
It's a little hands off, laissez-faire. Let's just sit back and see how it goes.
They get it. It's like let's just fucking see. Now, I think that probably stops us from having some of the connections that women do. Like, women probably have a BFF that's like their BFF. They interact with every day 10,000 times.
2 times a week.
They do this. They go back and forth. They know all about the drama in their sex life. They know their love life. They know all the gossip. Like, that's cool stuff. I literally love gossip. Do you know I found that out about myself?
You love
gossip.
Oh, what happened to Jimmy?
Oh, dude. So my last job, I used to just be the gossip queen. I'd be like, let's talk. And I'd try to get the gossip. At this job, I'm trying to get the gossip. Like, I love gossip. I found that out about myself. I never knew it before I worked at these last 2 jobs, but I love gossip.
I can imagine you going to work with your dad and be like, oh, what did you hear?
What did you hear about mom? What's mom doing? Like, you know what I mean? That's terrible. But like now I'm like, so I heard Nico got a new car. And they're like, yeah, but do you know how many bitches he had to bang? And I'm like, oh, lawsuit settled. And they're like, you didn't hear this from me, but so-and-so in accounting has been fired. And I'm like, please tell. Like, I love that stuff. And then someone sent a passive-aggressive email. And I'm like, who was it? Please tell me. Like, I love that stuff now. So I guess, so I'll put it this way. This kind of sums up the episode, kind of sums up men versus women in general.
Yeah.
There's weird things that we are told from youth, from our lives. Like women do gossip, women do childbirth, women do this.
Yep. And you can't even communicate what you are the same with, and your differences seem so bizarre.
They seem weird, and what's weird is it's an individual basis. I feel like I'm good at some women stuff. I'm like, I love childbearing, I love gossip, like I love looking at myself in the mirror. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's my thing. I don't do makeup, believe it or not. These eyelashes are natural, believe it. But it's weird that everyone has ideas of what a man is and what a woman is, and they do blur. Like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Would you agree, disagree? I don't know.
Yeah. Sometimes you feel completely connected to a woman and you can't convey the ideas that you share. For some bizarre reason, you can't communicate, even though you might be the same person. It just doesn't work. It's bizarre.
No,
it's weird.
You can't get it across. You're like, I'm telling you. And they're like, what do you mean? And you're like, no, I'm telling you. I agree with you.
Yes.
So ultimately, it boils down to sex. It's literally the only difference, like differentiator, your sex organs, your sex drive, and your sexual appetite. Like those are like, that's it, right?
Yeah. Your ambition and your aggressiveness.
Your sex hormones, whatever it is. Like everything's sex related. If it wasn't for sex, we'd probably be identical, right?
It would be weird to stay in that pre-pubescent phase because you really treat everyone the same.
Yeah.
I think children treat other children the same regardless of sex.
No, my son hates women. It's so weird.
Really?
Oh my God, dude. He's not even 5 yet. And he's like, I don't like her, Dada. She's a girl. I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ. And I'm like, no, you like girls. Jesus Christ. She's like, she doesn't do fun things. I'm like, stop it, Jesus Christ. But I mean, I'm trying to raise him to be as inclusive as I can.
Mm-hmm.
But I think from TV shows, from
playing
just knowing that he likes, he likes me, and I'm Dada, and I'm the only guy in the house. So we have girls everywhere he looks. He wants to be like me. He's like, oh, I don't like him. He's not a boy. And I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ, down there. Go be friendly with everyone. So,
the elusive woman.
Yeah, women, dude.
How do you capture them?
Chloroform? My van?
You steal your girl. You see that meme?
Yeah,
it was like
your girl.
3 attractive men. These are gonna steal your girl, and the 4th one is the white rapist van.
Oh no, I didn't see that. That's good. That's terrible. I don't know.
Who knows?
All I know is, honestly, I actually do love women. I do think sexist jokes can be harmful at times and funny at times.
We care. Sometimes.
And listen, I'm gonna do this all the time, and I see like really hot women. I can't stop.
Oh man,
I love them.
Yeah, adorable.
The way they smell. I want to bang them. I want to hold them. I want to just be friendly with them. Sometimes, flirt. Well, think about this. Are you giving the same attention to a 21-year-old dude who's not attractive to a 21-year-old girl who's super smoking hot and is asking? They could be asking the dumbest thing. Is an IP address the same as like my password? And you're like, those, you're not even in the ballpark. Let me talk to you. Like, do you know it's weird? Like, you have this weird thing where like,
let's see here.
Let's talk.
Can you show me what you're clicking there? Oh,
What's your name again? Oh my God.
Oh no, you don't. Oh, let's see if we can figure it out together.
It's weird that it has that effect on me. I'm not 21 anymore, but I still drawn to women.
Something you can never obtain.
My life.
It's fleeting.
Women.
It's a moment you can't capture.
Women will always run my life, I guess, even if I hate them or love them. It doesn't even matter. They run my life whether I hate them or love them. Is that weird? Those are opposite emotions.
Yeah, you're a sucker.
God damn it, I'm a sucker.
It's like people like you. It's the alpha males that I'm not dumber than me.
I'm not an alpha male.
Bigger suckers.
I'm not dumber than you. And I'm not a bigger sucker than you. God damn.
We should just women,
we kind of have to.
Yeah.
Women, folks, you can't live with them. You can't live without them. Unless you're gay. God bless you. Good luck.